In France, the 8th of May is known as La Victoire. France is one of the only countries where the day marking the surrender of Nazi Germany in the Second World War is officially a public holiday. There are ceremonies and parades across the country, especially in towns and villages, at local war memorials. The centrepiece of the day is the president laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier at the Arc de Triomphe. France is a nation with a long military history and to this day honours its dead service personnel at the Invalides military hospital behind me.
Historically, many people in Britain recognise the significance and the emotion of Victory in Europe Day in 1945, but it probably means a lot less now to the younger generations as the older people pass away. Still, though, we recognise Dame Vera Lynn, we understand the songs of the 1940s, and we've all seen the pictures of people celebrating in central London. And even now, with the coronavirus pandemic, politicians especially will talk about the spirit of Dunkirk and fighting and defeating an invisible enemy. Not everyone likes an analogy like that, but it does show the hold of World War II.
In Belgium, this day is called Armistice de la Seconde Guerre mondiale. At the start of the war, Belgium really tried to remain neutral. It was still recovering from the First World War, but it was quickly drawn into battle when the Germans invaded in May of 1940. Its neutrality had left it ill-prepared and with outdated military equipment, and the grueling occupation lasted more than 4 years. Now, in the aftermath, Belgium abandoned its neutral stance and rebuilt its military capacity while also forging economic ties with its neighbors. In much the same way, post-World War II was the beginning of the European project as countries forged very deep political and economic ties and vowed that a pan-European war would never happen again.
In Serbia, May 8 is not regarded as the day when World War II ended in Europe. Just like Russia, Serbia too celebrates May 9 as the day when the Nazis were defeated. The discrepancy originated in the two separate capitulations signed by the Germans in 1945, on May 8 with the Western Allies, while day after with Soviets. Around 1 million Serbs perished during that war, a sad fact that leaves no Serb indifferent. Its consequences resonated even during the violent breakup of Yugoslavia in 1990.
In Italy, VE Day is not celebrated on May the 8th. The nation celebrates the victory of the Italian resistance in World War II on April the 25th each year. It's called Liberation Day. It's a national holiday which marks the fall of Benito Mussolini and when Allied troops ended the Nazis' occupation in Italy. It didn't all happen in one day, but on April the 25th, 1945, the city of Milan was liberated from fascism. The Second World War can be a difficult subject in Italy. There are right-wing politicians that are still positive about Mussolini, but many Italians are disgusted by that time in the nation's history. To celebrate, they wave flags and sing the song of the resistance, Bella Ciao.
Here in Germany, the 8th of May is known as the War's End or Liberation Day. However, it is not a federal holiday and is only treated as a day of commemoration in just a couple of Germany's 16 federal states. There have been calls in recent years to change that. However, those remain controversial as Germany still struggles to some extent to come to terms with its own role in the history of the Second World War and Nazi aggression in Europe. While some say it would be appropriate to mark the day more strongly, there are concerns that could be seen as disrespectful to the victims of Nazi persecution as well as those who fought against the Nazis here and elsewhere.
In Spain, Victory in Europe Day is not celebrated. Spain, of course, was a neutral country during the Second World War. However, their fascist dictator Franco was sympathetic to Hitler's cause, having received help from the Germans during the Spanish Civil War. And he also sent a volunteer air force to Russia to fight alongside the Nazis. And the main Spanish opposition Republicans sent volunteers to fight with the Russians. And it's for this reason that Victory in Europe Day has no special relevance here.